EGM Network.
Hey, welcome everybody. We're back, but this is number 23, right, Jess?
That's right, Bill.
And guess
the 23rd podcast.
Guess who I'm using here for my podcast? The 23rd, 23 in a row. You know.
Yeah.
You know, if you were a batter, Jess, you'd have a great streak going. 23 hits in a row.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sir Paladin brings you this broadcast. We sell third-party sack certificates, and Evergreen Media is never do podcasts without Evergreen Media, and I don't leave home without my American Express, and I don't do a podcast without Jesse James. Hi, Jess.
Hey, that's right. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
And this is number 23, so we always check the Boston Red Sox out, right? 23.
Yeah.
Who do we got there, Jess?
23. I don't know. Jim Rice?
Huh? No. Louis Todd, El Tianto.
Oh,
Yeah,
Louis Tiant.
Louis Tiant. Yeah, he was great. You know, he'd pitch and he'd show the batter his number.
Yes.
He turned all the way around.
Yeah, all the way back to the batter.
That's right. And he fired the ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they always see that number 23, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I do a lot of research, right? I try to find the truth, and I kind of condense it down into facts. So that's who I am. And I don't, not a Dem, not a Republican. And my viewpoint, Democratic Party, Republican Party, they divide people, and we're all Americans here, and we deserve better than from our political system.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I can't say I'm a proponent of global warming, but I do recognize it does exist.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it's a hoax like some people in our country do, right, Jess?
That's right, Bill.
And we've been keeping an eye on that lately, haven't we, Jess?
That's right.
And do you have a report for the first half of 2026 on global warming, Jess?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, the global average temperatures for the first half of 26 are tracking as the second warmest on record ever. The leading models predict 2026 has a strong chance of breaking the all-time global annual temperature record. Ocean temperatures have been a primary driver of this heat. Global ocean temperature was the highest on record for the month of June, while global land temperatures came in at fourth highest on record for the month of June.
Yeah, Jess, you know about that? Our president, he's trying to save us a few bucks. You know what he's doing? Our president removing all the ocean monitoring technology, right? So you can't tell that it's warming up. Because you know how he does it. If you don't see a problem, then there is no problem, right?
That's right.
That's who he is. No problem. So he's going to take all this out, so we'll never know. So the strategy for denial and deceive are hard-working Americans, okay? Because you'll never know. He's never going to tell you that there's a problem.
That's right.
And global warming is not a hoax. Do not listen to Donald J. Trump. You'll be misled.
That's right.
We're getting Bloomberg, Jess.
Yeah, Bloomberg. There will be hundreds of new daily temperature records set, tied, or broken.
That's right. And basically, if you paid attention to the weather the last couple of weeks, we're right on target for all that, baby, right? It's been hotter than heck out there.
Yeah.
I guess I could use another word, but I won't. You know, it's PG, right?
There you go. Yeah.
So everybody get used to global warming in the United States. It's extremely hot this summer, and it will be forever. You know, if we burn carbon emission fuels, fossil fuels, which the president is planning on doing for the next 4 years, and it's going to be an absolute terrible thing. The Western United States will burn all summer long, which it's already doing. Fossil fuels, coal, natural gas, increase global warming and endanger all health of hardworking Americans. And just to touch base, I have great concern about Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, okay? And we're 6 years away from a 23% cut. And I don't think that's changing, Jess, do you?
No, I don't think so.
I don't either. And my slogan is here, Jess, if you can get it up here, you know, the old billionaires don't pay taxes.
That's right.
And we're going to see how Donald Trump's going to beat that. He's a billionaire, and he's going to be paying taxes, as his broadcast is all about, okay? Yeah. And the other thing I want to look at, Jess, if we can, the national debt cloud, is that going down at all?
No, Bill, it is increasing.
Oh, my God.
We are approaching $40 trillion in national debt.
That's unbelievable, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Hey, Jess, I remember months ago, the president, I use the word exploitation because, you know, big major corporations exploit hardworking Americans. Just the way it goes. And the people that have credit card debt and can't make their payments pay penalties. And those are the people that don't have any money. So they squeeze all hardworking Americans. Remember President Trump? He promised a 10% rate cut on credit cards.
I do remember him saying that. Yeah.
And I think he forgot about it already, to be honest with you. Because he said it once and he went away, right?
Yeah.
And now I hear he's going to start selling cheap gas in the United States. Details to come up in 2 weeks, Jess.
I'm sure.
You know the old 2-week syndrome?
Yeah, the old 2 weeks, like the healthcare.
Yeah, the healthcare stuff.
That's right.
I'll be back in 2 weeks with the plan, right?
Sure.
I think he might forget about that after we have the midterm election test, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And, hey, listen, can we take a look at Richard Nixon, former president, right? Kind of feel bad for him compared to our president today.
Sure, here's Richard Nixon.
In all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
Well, just this podcast is make a determination, and I'll leave you with the determination in the end, people. Is our president a crook? Okay, we heard from Nixon, right? And based on what Nixon was left office for, it was a nothing banana here, absolutely nothing
Compared to what's going on today.
Compared to what's going on today, So we're going to take a good look at what's going on. So the podcast is entitled "Is Our President a Crook?" Okay.
Yeah.
And let me see here. We got a little YouTube clip coming up here, right, Jess?
That's right. Here's the YouTube clip.
Welcome back to The Takeout, coming to you all week from New York. Today, the Justice Department expanded the settlement between President Trump and the Internal Revenue Service. Paperwork signed by Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche reveals that the IRS can no longer prosecute or even investigate President Trump, his family, or, quote, affiliated individuals or businesses. That's very broad and sweeping language, sure to attract some scrutiny, maybe political, maybe legal. All this comes a day after the Department of Justice created a nearly $2 billion fund for those who assert they were unfairly targeted in the Biden era by the Justice Department.
Yeah, Jess, but we're going to scrutinize that in this podcast. That's what this podcast is all about. Folks, the $2 billion was just a distraction. They throw that out there. They get the media, everybody talking about the $2 billion. Oh, this is terrible, terrible. So what happens the next day, Jess, right? The assistant acting attorney general, he comes out and he gives Donald Trump and his family, his friends, his neighbors, anybody that's ever been in a White House office with them, they give them carte blanche that the IRS cannot investigate them for what they're doing.
Yeah, immunity.
That's right. So they won't even look at it, right? Yeah. Now, he just released $2 billion worth of stuff, but the IRS can't look at his return to see if he reports the $2 billion worth of stuff. So he's going to get a free ride. Mm-hmm. And the release of that on the day after, Jess, I thought that was a little sneaky. What do you think?
Yeah, a little sneaky.
You think so?
I'd say so. Yeah.
This was done by his former personal attorney. You know who that guy is, right? That's Todd Blanche. We just had him up on the screen, Jess, right?
Yeah, that's right.
IRS deal. That's a pretty good deal. What do you think, Jess?
That's a pretty good deal. You get it.
I wish I could get it. Right?
Get out of jail free card.
Get out of jail free card.
With the IRS.
You think we can get something like this if we write to the president? He might help us out.
I doubt it. Not us.
Okay.
No.
Hey, Katie Crook covers some of this stuff, Jess. So let's see what Katie Crook's thinking about the lawsuit.
Yeah, this is Katie Crook with a DOJ insider.
But that wasn't enough for Donald Trump. The imprisonment of this person, he wanted to get paid. So he filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS seeking damages.
Okay, hey, listen now. The Donald Trump tax return, along with thousands of others' tax returns, were released to the public, okay? The person who released it happened to be a contractor, as it turned out. And this person spent 5 years in jails for doing that. So he got punished pretty badly, I guess, for releasing Donald Trump's tax return. But Trump decided to sue for $10 billion. That's what it be, folks, right? It seems like a lot of money to me, Jess. What do you think?
I think so.
I don't think he incurred any damages from this release of his tax return that I'm aware of. What about you, Jess? You got any idea on that?
I don't think so. No, I don't think you can prove that.
Okay,
no.
well, hey, so Jesse never argues with me, you know? I think he wants to go home quick tonight, you know? I'm not sure. Hey, I thought Trump was an expert at filing lawsuits, Jess.
Yeah, he's filed enough of them, sure.
That's right. You know, so, do you know about the statute of limitations when it comes to lawsuits, Jess?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know each one, but yeah, they exist.
Did it play in this current lawsuit at all?
Well, let's find out in this clip here.
And the other glaring problem with the lawsuit is that there's this thing in law called the statute of limitations, which just means a time limit.
Even
to
I
bring a
know what
claim.
that is, Liz.
I do too.
And the time limit for this claim was 2 years. So you got 2 years to bring this claim. Donald Trump's tax returns were leaked about 6 years earlier. So he was about 4 years late in filing his claim.
That's the scam, folks. He's filing this lawsuit, and he's got a plan. You know, he's got a lot of great people behind him. I don't think he could think of this on his own, to be honest with you, Jess. You know,
No, I think the fix was in.
you think that absolutely the fix is in.
Yeah.
Hey, our president has always been known as a con artist, historically speaking. You know, even before he was elected president, he was known as a con artist. He'd cheat anybody, anything. The most significant, not that it was really financially significant, but do you remember the Trump University, Jess?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember the Trump University.
He was running for president. He had to settle with all those people. He cheated them out of the money. He didn't like doing that, but he had to get it out of the way, and they got paid off. So that worked out pretty good for them. Hey, was the lawsuit really legitimate? That's what I was wondering, Jess. What do you think?
Let's see in this clip.
And they submitted their brief. They said it's not legitimate. This case should be thrown out of court. And the Justice Department knew this was coming. So right before the judge had the opportunity to throw out the lawsuit, they announced that they had reached a settlement. They were settling the lawsuit out of court, and Donald Trump's lawyers moved to dismiss the lawsuit voluntarily.
You think these lawyers are smarter than you thought?
Yeah, no, I think they're all on a scam here, you know?
Yeah.
There's no surprise in that, right? They run in and dismiss the lawsuit, right? So to get a settlement. And the judge was going to throw the lawsuit out because it had no merit at all, okay? So it was going away for zero. Nothing. So I guess Trump's fan, they listen closely to what the addendum does to allow Trump to avoid taxes forever.
I mean, I fully
IRS.
agree with the New York Times analysis. And one part of the settlement that we didn't talk about, Katie, is there was this secret addendum, it turned out. So there was the settlement agreement that was announced. And then the next day, an additional paragraph was revealed. And it was what's called a release of claims. So this document, which was signed by Todd Blanche, went a step further than creating the compensation fund, and it actually gave up the rights of the United States to bring any type of lawsuit against Donald Trump in the future. It essentially promised that Trump will not be investigated, audited, or sued by the United States for all of time, even after he leaves office, even after Todd Blanche leaves the Justice Department. Donald Trump will be immune from any type of civil liability. That
What
is
a deal,
just
huh?
staggeringly corrupt.
Corrupt. You got that right, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, the infamous addendum makes this the biggest con job, and our president's a con man, biggest con job the world has ever seen. Honest to God, it's unbelievable what this guy's doing. Have you ever heard of the United States IRS giving up the right to collect taxes,
No.
owed plus interest, and penalties? They're not going to do that, right? Those taxes that are owed, the penalties and interests, they're giving up on that on Donald Trump. He gets to skate free of charge. What do you call it? Get out of jail card, Jess?
Right, yeah. Unheard of.
And remember, billionaires, and Donald Trump's one of them, right, Jess? They don't pay taxes.
Oh, sir.
So I say to Americans, you better wake up and vote these people out because they're ruining the country. Hey, has the country lost its way, Jeff? Well, that's my idea, right?
Yeah, well, remember the president's audit from 2016, the first time he ran?
He was going to release it when he finalized it. Do you think he finalized it yet?
It's taken him a while. I haven't heard about it.
Yeah, okay, let's see what we might have in that secret addendum here.
Okay.
One thing that's been in the news is the fact that Donald Trump and his companies have been under audit by the IRS. This will resolve those audits. The New York Times had an estimate that if the audits were resolved against Trump, he could be on the hook for hundreds of millions of dollars of tax liability. So we know that those audits will be shut down. And this is incredibly valuable to Donald Trump, even if it just lasts for the next few years and not into perpetuity. But it's an attempt to make sure that we can never sue him in the future. We can never seek any legal recourse against him for the damage that he has done to our country and for the enrichment that he and his family have gotten profiting off the presidency.
And in fact, Karen O'Shanna, one of my most loyal subscribers, says, "Is it true that it applies to all his family members?" And
Yes.
it does,
Yeah.
right?
It does. Yeah. His family members, as well as all of his companies and any trusts held in his name, pretty much everyone and everything in his orbit is covered by this release.
So all the companies, these people, you got to find out a little later on, they own like 20% of this company, 20% of that company. So all these companies are getting they're all off the hook because they're associated with the Trumps and they're doing anything they want because no one's going to take a look at it. It's going to be against the law to take a look at it, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like a strange way to make a law. I thought Congress did that stuff, but hey, who knows, right?
Wildly corrupt.
So
Yes.
everybody in Trump's university is getting off the hook.
Yeah.
No one's going to get questioned on their turn. No audit will be done. In Trump's recent White House filings of earnings, over $2 billion, the IRS cannot see any of it, okay? Because they can't look at his tax return. That's the joke here, right? They're giving us we're taking a beating from our president. He's taking. It's not like Richard Nixon, right? He earned everything he got, not as a function of being president, but through his life, right? Donald Trump is making a killing being president, and it's not all necessarily legal either, right, Jess?
No.
And I heard Trump got into the crypto business, Jess. Is that right?
Yeah, I heard he made a lot of money. Do you know how much money he's made in crypto?
No, but let's find out.
Let's do it.
Trump just disclosing that he's earned over $1 billion from his crypto ventures. Now, this is according to an annual financial disclosure form that just came out, about 900 pages. So there's a lot in there. But it does include this: more than $526 million in income from World Liberty Financial, which is a crypto venture Trump co-founded with his son. So take a look at this chart by top economic analyst Steve Ratner. He actually created this. Steve did before tonight's disclosure. I was looking at it. Then this happened. It was like, wait, we got to look at this. So let me tell you what it says. So what Steve did is put in blue how much money Trump's family has gained from crypto. That's the upper line there. In red, that's the line of how much investors have lost. About the same amount, more than $2 billion.
Hey, Jess, Trump wins all the time when he does this. He's that's a con man, right?
Right.
Basically. And I probably have this later on, I think, but it's worth mentioning now. For every crypto coin that was sold, and it'll come up later, he got 75% of the revenue. So if a crypto coin was $100, he got $75.
Wow.
Someone gave him $100 to get $75. So that's where all that money came from. It's just a big scam, and he's getting away with it so far. We'll see what happens at the end here.
Yeah.
So everybody loses, right? And basically, when you look at that chart, that looks like it could have been a pump and dump. You know what that is, Jess? You pump it up. People talk about it, they get all excited. They start buying it, and then whatever you own, you bail out and you make a profit.
Sell high, yeah.
That's right. So the really rich people probably made a profit on theirs. The poor suckers, hardworking Americans, holding on to their coins, not so much. Hey, do you remember the lawyer Ty Cobb? He used to be Trump's personal attorney in the White House.
Just vaguely.
Yeah, well, let's see what he has to say. I think he liked Trump for a time there.
Yeah, I think so.
Out front now, Ty Cobb. He is the former Trump White House lawyer. Ty, pretty interesting there when you look at that chart and how much Trump has made and how much everyone else has lost. What is your reaction to the scale of what we're seeing in this disclosure, of how much Trump is earning from these crypto ventures? Over $1 billion last year alone, right? This isn't a cumulative number. It's in 1 year, an industry he's actively promoted and supported and done policy and executive orders related to. Is it legal?
I don't believe so.
Hey, in the first term with this guy, Jess, right? Donald Trump was anti-crypto. Basically, he thought it was a scam, as I think was his words. Now, with the current White House advisors, it's the best thing since sliced bread. You can't do any better than this crypto stuff, right? Of course, he's making all kinds of money off it, right? And because he can He's made more than $2 billion, I guess. And I don't know if he's just lucky. He's just a real good con guy. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah. More the latter, I think. Yeah.
Hey, does Donald J. Trump pay taxes, Jess?
Well, no.
Not that we're aware of, anyway, right?
Yeah, no, that's right.
Hey, billionaires don't pay taxes.
No.
And if Trump did, we could see, if we could only see his return, we would know if he paid taxes. But I don't think he's going to show us a return this year, Jess.
I don't think so. He's a little dodgy with that tax return.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, does Trump make policies for crypto, Jess?
Well, we are going to find out in this clip.
With regard to the crypto, obviously that's, it's a slimy industry. Certainly the way he's going around it, where he creates policies that can only enrich himself and his family, is something that I think the average American should be staggered by.
Okay, policies to enrich him and his family and his advisors. Wake up, America. Vote. Do not vote for any elected official or anybody running that supports this administration. Vote him out of office and do it now. This could be your last chance to change the current course of history, political history that we are on. 2 more years of corruption with the support of the Senate and the House of Representatives will be almost impossible to reverse. What do you think about that, Jess? You think that's a possibility or what?
Yeah, especially with him firing all these election officials now.
I know. That's right. Hey, what does Ty Cobb think about the legality of Donald J. Trump's administration actions, Jess?
Yeah, I got a clip for you.
But you mentioned the scale, and I think the scale here is just, it's intentional. There's no question. I mean, we are seeing the greatest onslaught of corruption in the history of mankind in the last 18 months. We have the $1.8 billion that he and Todd Blanche tried to take from the American taxpayers through the phony settlement of a contrived controversy with which he was going to pay off his friends.
$1.8 billion is just a distraction, right, to get everybody looking at it. The real deal is all the people in the Trump community, corrupt universe, will never be investigated for crimes. Remember Steve Bannon's statements, put out information to distract the press, and that's what he did, $1.8 billion. That's a big distraction to get a lot of attention.
That's right. Flooding the zone, yeah.
That's right, flood the zone. It's a good old Steve Bannon. Yeah. He's got it all figured out. In the end, they will receive presidential pardons for all their tax crimes, right? These people working for him, right? I think he said anybody that comes within 600 yards of the White House is going to get a pardon. That's how it goes. Hey, Jess, should anyone trade stocks with inside information? What do you think? Is that a good idea?
It's a good idea if you can make it work, but I don't think it's legal in America. No, it shouldn't be anyway.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we got a clip on that.
Okay.
This disclosure, on top of the disclosure that he issued last month, where he listed recent trades, up to $750 million in trades, many of which involved government contractors. So the grift is on. It's stunning.
Hey, Trump trades $750 million in companies that are going to get government contracts. You think he's got some inside information there, Jess?
I think so.
I think so. Actually, folks, that's $750 million. $1 billion is a lot of money. That's where I come from, anyway.
Absolutely.
And if you and I did the insider trading, we would go to prison. You know that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, how many mining companies are the Trump and Ludwig family invested in, Jess?
I have a feeling we're going to find out here in this clip.
Okay, let's hear it out.
Do you think that I would imagine you agree that with the New York Post that it stinks to high heaven and it's the shame of the nation?
It is the shame of the nation, and people should be paying attention. I mean, look back at the Iran war. Shouldn't have been started, but once it was started, what did we learn? We learned that the Trump sons have a drone company and become a huge government contractor. You hear this Kazakhstan deal announced. It was announced in November of 2025 when the $1.6 billion in financing was disclosed. What we didn't know was that the Trump sons, just a few weeks earlier, actually just days before the deal was announced, had acquired an interest in a company that had a substantial portion part of that deal, and they've only got close. They've only gotten closer corporately with the people that are involved in that deal. So we see the 14 companies that you were talking about that the Trump sons or the Lutnick sons have an interest in. The amount of guaranteed financing from the United States government for the 14 companies that are pursuing those deals, $9 billion.
Hey, Jess, if they gave me $9 billion, I think I could make it work too,
I think so, yeah.
Here's a gift. Here's $9 billion. And hopefully it works out. Maybe you'll pay us back. Maybe you won't. That's hardworking Americans' tax dollars, $9 billion, right? Hey, I don't think they can miss with that, right? And they happen to be involved with 14 mining companies. All those 14 mining companies, whatever they report, they're off the hook, right? Based on this super addendum that was passed recently by the Attorney General.
Right.
Hey, you remember the Trump's Ukraine deal? He beat him up to get mining rights for rare earth minerals in the White House.
Yeah.
Remember that deal, right?
I remember that was a thing, yeah.
You think these 14 mining companies are going to get a piece of that action too?
Probably.
I would think so,
Yeah.
Jess. I don't know. You can disagree with me if you want. That's okay.
There's your insider trading right there.
Yeah. Do you think Trump's Ukraine deal is possible? The Trump-Ludwig families are in a position to benefit from these transactions?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so,
Absolutely.
If I had to guess, I'd say absolutely.
Yeah.
Trump wants Greenland, the rare earth minerals. Trump already sees Venezuela. Trump has plans to extract Venezuela rare earth minerals. He has the same plan for the Greenland. I wonder what kind of mining companies would be involved with that. You think that might be involved with his family, those 14 companies? Do you think they might be getting in there, Jess?
Sounds about right.
I think the Trump boys and Ludwig boys are going to be major players in those ventures, Jess.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, Jess, do we have a clip showing the Ludwig signing the mining deal?
We do. Here we go.
New York Times investigation found that the families of President Trump and the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick stand to profit from a $1.6 billion mining deal with Kazakhstan. Last year, the president, Secretary Lutnick, signed a deal with Kazakhstan that gave a little-known American company access to one of the world's largest untapped reserves of tungsten, critical metal needed to make missile warheads, fighter jets, and computer chips. Within weeks, the sons of both Trump and Lutnick also became financially connected to the deal. The Times is exclusively reporting one or both families now have financial ties to at least 14 companies involved in critical mining deals with the government.
We've already spoken about that quite a bit, but the Witkoff sons, Alex and Zach, basically, which hasn't come up in here, that Witkoff guy, he's negotiating the peace deals with Russia and Israel and Iran, right? Not doing real good, by the way, but that's what he's supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
That family, the cryptocurrency business, World Liberty Financial, Trump and other unnamed affiliates, as I mentioned earlier, are entitled to 75% of the World Liberty Financial revenues, not profit, revenues. When it comes in, they get 75%. It's like a fee, a realtor fee. If you bought a house and you sold a house and you had to pay 75% of the price, that realtor be doing really good. You know what I mean, Jess?
Absolutely.
Hey, should these boys be involved with a rabbi? A rabbi wouldn't get involved with this. Would he? He's pretty honest people, those religious guys.
You would think so.
I would think so.
Yeah. But here's a clip from CNN.
And there's an Australian-born rabbi somehow at the center of this, according to your reporting.
That's right. So there's an Australian executive who is in the mining sector, and he's the one that negotiated access in Kazakhstan to these deals. And he also was the co-founder of a separate company called USA Rare Earths, and he's also a shareholder there that's also slated to get billions of dollars. And Lutnick went out of his way to try to get the Kazakhstan government to give this contract to his company. So he's benefiting from potentially as much as like $5 billion worth of U.S. assistance. And his business partners include Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. So it's just, again, it's very unusual to see direct financial interest from the family of the president and from the Commerce Secretary that are intermixed with some of these, enormous deals with taxpayer dollars on the line.
Hey, Jess, I wonder how they find these guys, the rabbi, the Trump boys, What do you think?
Yeah.
Hey,
Who knows?
What about that Kazakhstan deal, Jess?
Yeah, the Kazakhstan deal. I've got this piece of information for you. The Kazakhstan deal and family ties. The project, which is seeking up to $1.6 billion in financing from the U.S. Export-Import Bank and the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, has faced scrutiny over the conflict of interest concerns. Shortly after the initial government-level negotiations, investment entities linked to Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump through Dominari Securities, along with relatives of Howard Lutnick, acquired a 20% stake in a company related to the mining project.
I'll tell you, those guys are on top of their game. I should give them some money to invest for me. I think I can make a fortune with that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, Jess, do you remember the something called The French Connection? It was a movie.
Bill, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, it's pretty interesting. You know,
Okay.
it's about like a mafia group from France coming over to use to sell drugs. But
Okay.
it's kind of interesting, right?
All right.
I call this is the Trump's Jewish connection. As Trump has said, he's done more for Israel than any other president. And I was wondering, Jess, do you think this could be payback for everything he's done for Israel?
It could be. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Well, you don't have to agree with me. That's okay.
Oh.
Do you remember the movie The Sting?
Again, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yes, where you been? Yeah, The Sting, right?
Yeah.
The Sting was a big con movie, right?
All right.
And Donald Trump could have been the star of that movie, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
right? Hey, can we move on to that Pam Bondi clip, Jess?
Sure, yeah. We're got a Pam Bondi clip here from today.
This morning, Pam Bondi is out as Attorney General. Earlier this week, she was by President Trump's side when he made the unprecedented move to attend the Supreme Court hearing. But on Thursday, the president posting, "We love Pam. She'll be transitioning to a new job in the private sector," where Bondi says she's thrilled to continue fighting for President Trump. Two sources familiar with the matter telling NBC News Trump and Bondi had a heated confrontation at the White House last week, although the sources did not specify what it was about. Replacing her for now, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who once served as the president's personal defense lawyer during his hush money trial in New York. Bondi's a former Florida Attorney General who served on President Trump's defense team during his first impeachment trial.
So help me God.
As the U.S. Attorney General, she was a lightning rod,
You don't tell me.
Yeah, oh, I did tell you.
repeatedly clashing with Democrats, but drawing praise from the president.
She's going to go down as a great Attorney General. I may change my mind about that.
Hey, Pam Bondi had a heated argument with Trump, and that's why I showed you that video. Now, I'm going to try to put some dots together here, right?
All right.
We know that Trump has a scheme not to pay taxes. All right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the billions of dollars of his gains. Since the beginning of his second term, he files a bogus lawsuit, and the United States Attorney General settles the lawsuit out of court using the infamous secret addendum. I'm saying Pam Bondi, right, might have had some scruples and told him she wasn't going along with that gig, right?
Right.
I'm out of here, right? So I'm not taking that. I'm not doing that. That's horrendous. That's illegal, whatever, you know? So Trump says, okay, goodbye. And what does he do? He put his own personal attorney in charge. And what does he do, right? Let's see what he does. Here comes Todd Blanche.
Here comes Todd.
Kristen, the number 2 at DOJ, Todd Blanche, is now going to be the acting attorney general, someone you've interviewed before. Any sense that he might actually get the top job? And if not, who?
Laura, great question. Look, Blanche is absolutely one of the names we are hearing who could be a replacement. He's incredibly loyal to the president, having served as his personal attorney. He's also, it's worth noting, been the public face of the Department of Justice on some of the thorniest issues, from the Epstein files to questions surrounding ICE enforcement in Minneapolis. Now,
okay, remember, Todd Blanche gave a lifetime protection from investigation and audits of the IRS, of Trump and all his family and all those businesses and trusts or whatever he has, and he's got 1 million of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jess, do you think the fix might have been in when they put Todd Blanche in there to go along with that? Huh? All right,
probably.
because basically the lawsuit was, had no merit whatsoever, was going to get kicked out of court, and then he settled with these people, $1.8 billion, which doesn't bother me. It's getting a free ride for everybody in the Trump world, the Trump universe.
Yeah.
I think the hardworking Americans getting a con job from the King of Kong, and I don't mean that gorilla guy. All right, I got to wrap it up, Jess. Our political system is corrupt. The Supreme Court is corrupt. The Congress is corrupt. The president is corrupt. No one's paying attention to anything anymore. Wake up, America. It's time for us to make a change. Vote them out. Find candidates that will proceed with a constitutional convention. We need to rewrite that document. That no longer works in 2026. It might have worked in 1776 after the Revolution, but it doesn't work in 2026. So basically, it's up to the voters. You got to vote them out, because if you don't, you're going to pay the price for a long, long time. And that's all I got to say, Jess.
That's it. Very good.
All right.
All right. Follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. YouTube at Wake Up America with Bill Crafton. I'm Jesse Kriske for Bill Crafton.
All right. Jesse
Wake
James,
up,
Jesse
America.
James.